We're trying to make it a model farm where people can come and learn different technologies, and but also to teach our students who are that are graduating. They're going into all trades. Okay, not just trade school, but some of them are in university. We have nurses and computer techs and many different things. And so one of the things that we do is we try to do sustainable agriculture. Sustainable agriculture is what we are about. So different than other places, we try to feed the soil. Okay, meaning the soil. If you feed the soil will feed you, and it'll feed you very well. But it requires you to do some things a little bit differently. So hopefully I will share a few things with you. So first off, one of the things here is you can see this is a normal looking latrine, and I'm not going to make you go inside. And but this is a normal latrine, except for the fact that we capture all of the waste. It doesn't just go down into the ground. Okay, it's a flushing toilet. Okay, and so all the human waste is captured. Okay, and it runs through a pipe down to this big round dome right here. Okay, it's all captured here, and it all runs under the ground through these manholes to this round dome. We pull the pipe, and it all goes down into the same place. And the cow manure helps activate the human manure, and it begins to process it. Okay, where this system right here will capture, and if you guys want to move down this way, extend this way. So this is where all the cow manure is dumped on a daily basis. So they go out, they harvest the cow manure, and then eventually there'll be enough in here that they'll mix it with water to where it's really fluidy, really watery cow manure. Okay, then they pull this pipe right here, and then it all goes down into the system, which is right behind you. And let's do this. Okay, I'm not sure how strong the tank is, okay? But there's 17 cubic meters, and when they first made this hole, the tank extended all the way out to here, and then there's cement all underneath here. So it's a very, very large tank. So what happens is, as these two mix, there's like a chemical reaction that's going on, and it produces the methane. And somehow, and I can't fully explain it but the methane comes up out of the fluid, all the human waste. The fluid comes up, or the gas comes up, and there's pipes. I'm not sure if they're here or not. Yeah. And so we've taken a waste product, which is human waste, and a waste product from the cow, and produce something that is usable other than compost. And of course, you do not want to use human waste as compost unless it's properly processed. And in this case, it processes it to the place where we can use this again. Okay, we can use this, and it'll, as the gas builds up inside the tank, the gas will take and put pressure on the waste that is under the tank and pushes it out. But it's coming out in what they call a bio-slurry. The tank is about this deep, and it pushes the waste out of here into here, and it's been processed. It's not pure, okay, but it's usable enough for us to be able to dip buckets in, and then we take and we use it for watering our trees. It's highly nutritious, okay? It's like decomposed manure, okay? But except it's water, okay? So it's decomposed water, and or it's like decomposed water. It's very, yeah, here's one. So, thank you. You're hired. Okay, so we always handle this stuff with gloves, okay? because if we have any cuts on our hands, it can cause infection. Okay, it's not heavy. It doesn't look anything like the manure, right? Okay, and so all the human waste is pumped out here, and then we can use it on our trees. We do not use it on our vegetable gardens. Okay, they say we can, but I am not so sure. Okay, and so I don't really want us ingesting food from our farm for our students, and so we only use it for trees or anything else that is going to be watered. Okay, and so what happens inside of a soak pit is, because your soap is going in there, inside the soak pit, the soap lines the wall of the hole. And the soak pit works for a while, but eventually the soap clogs the holes of the soil. And so then the soil cannot absorb any more water. Okay? And so eventually it just keeps filling up and filling up and filling up, and pretty soon the soak pit has to either be redug, which is a lot of labor and very, very not a good job to have. Okay? So what you're going to probably want to do is you want to kind of shift this way and start walking down that pathway over there to our next system. Okay? Okay, food waste comes down here. And so the pipe comes up from here, and we have these two tanks here, and these are what they call settling tanks. So anything that's heavy, like rice or posho or anything like that, that washes down the drain, it comes in here and it sinks to the bottom. Okay, sinks to the bottom. So if we take the lid off, I imagine, oh, there we go. Oh, thank you. I have not had enough posho and beans today. Okay, so you see, this is kind of solid. Okay, so the soap suds, okay, the soap suds, the soap from bathing, from washing, laundry is all here. Okay, but it stays in here. Do you see this down here? You see little tiny bits, but very little. Once this tank fills up, then it moves to this tank, and it's another settling tank. We want to make sure that we're not trying to process heavy stuff. Okay? So it'll go in here. This one will probably look the same, except this one will not have as much as this one, because most of it is caught here. And eventually it will fill up, and we will have to pull the waste out and get rid of it. Okay? And then it comes down here, and then let me scoot by you. And what we do is we let this fill up, and then on a daily basis, okay, we come along here, eventually here, and you'll see the water flowing down to the next place. Okay, so we're trying to take and get the water of all the heavy solids. So this area right here is called the bioremediation system. Okay, the bioremediation. Okay, so the water, so what you can do is, if you want to observe it, you can take on the side here and you can just look down inside, and you see the water. There's water flowing through pipes throughout here. Okay, and there's about this much sand, and if we did not keep all of the stuff from coming down here, it would clog up the sand. So none of the soap suds, none of the food waste gets down here to clog up the sand, and so then it goes through the sand and through the rocks and through the roots of the plants. And what the roots and the sand and everything, it scrubs the water that God has made in water, are things called bacteria. There are good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. Okay? And the good bacteria are called nitrosomas. Nitrosomas. And these nitrosomas are in the form of nitrites and ammonia. Okay? Nitrites and ammonia. And God put in water, all water, for these bacteria to grow on any moist surface. So sand, when it's moist, these nitrosomas will grow inside these pipes, and those nitrosomas will take the nitrites and the nitrites and the ammonia and convert it to something that we can use. It's called nitrates. Nitrates is also known as nitrogen. You know nitrogen? Do you know NPK? So nitrogen is what plants use. Okay? So these plants are taking up nitrogen, and that's why they're growing so well. Okay? And then we can take and harvest half of these plants, feed them to our cows, or use them for mulching to feed the soil. Okay? And so it goes down through here. It gets to the bottom of the filter system. There's rocks down in the bottom. The tank's about this deep, this whole area. It gets down and it walks out the corner, and as many of you have already discovered, there's water down there. Okay? Yes. That goes down to that pipe. It's still cloudy and murky, and one of the things that we're going to be putting in there is charcoal, because charcoal helps absorb impurities in water. So what we've done is we've completely cleaned the water so that the plants, so that we can use it. When it comes like that, into that form right there, we can't use that water. But because of this system right here, it's like a giant water filter with the plant roots, and the plant roots have the nitrosomas, the bacteria, the good bacteria on them also. They're very, very, very small, but they're very, 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 very many. Okay? And so that's what converts the nitrites and the ammonia to usable nitrogen. Using it because we're in the rainy season, right? There's no need. But during the dry season, we have access to water. So if you haven't had a chance to look, I would encourage you to look. Just pull the plants aside gently, see the water. Eventually that water will soak into the sand, and it'll be gone. Probably by lunchtime, it'll be gone. Okay? And it starts that cleansing process through there and then goes out down there. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you see that. You can take some pictures of that. There's a tank down there, and then even further down from there, there's just a hole in the ground. Okay?